Hello everyone, Lurgs here, and today how to check the tyre pressures on your car or van. It's really important to have the correct tyre pressures on your tyres, especially if you're driving in wet conditions. But also if you're driving in dry conditions, it also will give you better miles per gallon. If you've got a modern car and your tyre pressures are incorrect, you may get this TPMS warning icon up on your dashboard, and then you'll have to inflate the tyres to the correct pressure. But this is very important. Make sure you check tyre pressures when the tyres are cold, not when you've been out for a run, because when the tyres warm up, the tyre pressures will increase. So make sure you definitely check the tyre pressures and inflate the tyres when the tyres are cold. Now, obviously tyre pressures vary massively depending on what size of tyres you've got and what wheels you've got, and I'll show you some examples on two particular vehicles. But generally there will be a tyre pressure sticker somewhere on the driver's side. This could be on the actual door pillar, it could be on the frame just next to where you're seating. They do vary slightly, some might be on the door sill as well, and I'll explain how that sticker works shortly. Before you check the tyre pressures, you need to find out what size tyre you've got, and this will be written on the side of the tyre wall. And on this particular one at the front, it is a 195/55 R16. 195 is the width of the tyre, 195 millimeters. 55 is the profile height, which is the height of the sidewall of the tyre. Letter R means it's a radial construction of the tyre. And rim size is 16, so that is 16 inches across on the actual wheel. And any letters after that is the speed rating of the tyre. And on this particular model, if we just open up the driver's door, and there is a tyre pressure sticker on the pillar here. And that explains all the different size tyres that you might have and the pressures. And I'll just make this easier to read. The red is the front and the green is the rear tyres. And this tyre pressure guide covers all of these different sizes of tyres here. And as we've just found out, ours are 195/55 R16s. And if you've got 3 people in the car, no luggage, it recommends 32 psi on the front and 32 psi on the rear. But if you've got a car full of people and lots of luggage, or you just prefer a firmer ride, they recommend 36 psi on the front and 36 psi on the rear. If you do happen to have a very skinny spare tyre in your boot or trunk, they recommend 60 psi on this. I'm going to be having a car full of people, so I need it to be 36 psi. I've just got an old school tyre pressure gauge here. So remove the tyre valve and make sure the tyres are cold before you check the pressure. And we want it to be 36 psi. So just push it in hard, get a nice firm connection. And this one actually is exactly 36. Perfect. If you did need to pump up some more air into it, you can use an old school foot pump like me, or if you've got a digital tyre pressure inflator, you can use that. And I'll just pump some more air into this tyre just to show you how that's done, and then I'll show you how you can release some air to lower the tyre pressure if you've overinflated it. It's always best to have a proper gauge. These ones on these foot pumps aren't very accurate, so it's always worth checking after you've pumped up your tyres with another gauge. Just unclip that. Just check it again. Now that is now too high. If you want to let some air out, you just push the end in and release some air. Then I'm just going to check it again. This is spot on 36 psi. Remember to put the tyre valve cap back on. Always use the plastic ones. I wouldn't recommend any metal ones because they can corrode and get stuck on the threads, and that'll be a nightmare trying to get them off. Then just go around to all the other tyres and just check all your tyre pressures. If you've got a tyre pressure warning light up on your dashboard, you will need to reset this. And I'll just show you on a different vehicle here. This is a Renault. And these have got 225/45 R19s. And the tyre pressure sticker on this particular model is on the door here, on the side of the door. And on this model, it's a 225/45 R19. If you've got less than 4 people in your car, it recommends 34 psi on the front and 31 psi on the rear. And the same if you're going at supersonic illegal speeds. If you've got more than 5 people in the car and you've got lots of luggage, they recommend 34 psi on the front and 38 psi on the rear. While you're checking the tyre pressures on your car, it's definitely worth checking all the tread, making sure that you've got good tread and your tyres aren't worn. If you ever need to replace a tyre, it's always worth replacing tyres in pairs, either the pair on the front or the pair on the rear. And I think that definitely deserves a lovely cup of tea. I hope that was useful. In the top right is a video on how to disconnect your car battery safely, and on the top left hand side how to connect a car battery safely, and in the bottom left how to check your battery using a multimeter. Drive safe.